This mastery lesson covers pages 22 through 27 of Learn a Wicked Awesome Boston Accent, which is available on paperback and on Kindle. Information on that's available on the About More section, as is the monologue we're about to cover. I didn't paste the entire pages in that About More, otherwise it would have been like yay long, and that's just too much to burden you with. But if you follow along, you might pause here and there and attempt to do it yourself. And we're certainly going to go over it again and again, so there'll be time for it. So this is an excerpt and a monologue here, where a mysterious and potentially dangerous stranger introduces himself to a lost visitor. Tonight is one of those nights wherein the laws of nature contradict themselves. This mall is bordered by a forest and a bog. The air should howl with wildlife, yet even the cicadas dare not cry out. But somewhere in the spaces between heartbeats, if you cock an ear, you'll detect a plaintive demand for answers, a whisper crafted from a soul in need. So let's consider some changes you can make to affect a Boston accent. The short O becomes awe, contradict, bog, cicada, not. Tonight is one of those nights wherein the laws of nature contradict themselves. This mall is bordered by a forest and a bog. The air should howl with wildlife, yet even the cicadas dare not cry out. Drop R endings and rise in pitch. Bordered, forest, air, dare, heartbeats, ear. This mall is bordered by a forest and a bog. The air should howl with wildlife, yet even the cicadas dare not cry out. But somewhere in the spaces between heartbeats, if you cock an ear, you'll detect the plaintive demand for answers, a whisper crafted from a soul in need. The long A darkens, nature, spaces, plaintive. And what I mean by the long A darkening is if you spoke with a standard American accent, it would sound like this: nature, spaces, plaintive. But with the Boston accent, it changes, it gets darker. Nature, spaces, plaintive. Tonight is one of those nights wherein the laws of nature contradict themselves. But somewhere in the spaces between heartbeats, if you cock an ear, you'll detect the plaintive demand for answers, a whisper crafted from a soul in need. So, what you might do right here is pause, read the monologue out loud, see what's stuck, what you managed to retain, and then unpause and hear what we did. Okay. Tonight is one of those nights wherein the laws of nature contradict themselves. This mall is bordered by a forest and a bog. The air should howl with wildlife, yet even the cicadas dare not cry out. But somewhere in the spaces between heartbeats, if you cock an ear, you'll detect the plaintive demand for answers, a whisper crafted from a soul in need. If you feel confident about it, what you might do is record it and post it as a video response. If it's an earnest effort, I'll keep it there. All right.